Hey, thanks for joining me on the Discover Your Life Today YouTube channel. My name is Bhaveen Kaura. Today we're going to be talking about and reviewing the book, The Art of Dealing with People by Les Giblin. What I've called this is really how to empower relationships and work with people. You can go to the discoveryourlifetoday.com/empower relationships to kind of read the basic article. It's also going to have all the similar points that I have on this video going to be included on there. So what I'm going to do is request that you get yourself a piece of paper, a pen, a pencil. Get yourself a Word document open while you're listening to this on your laptop, or if you're listening to this on your desktop. If you're listening to this on your phone, no problem. You can also take notes in your Evernote as well. So let's get started. Chapter 1 is about thinking creatively about human relations. So the most basic and common denominator to all success and happiness is other people. So keep that in mind. Every point I'm going to make here is going to be about the art of dealing with people. Human relations are basic and based on simple science. Learn to deal with people in such a way that you leave their ego and your ego intact when you're having conversations. The more we attack other people's egos, the more they don't listen to us, and the more problems we typically end up having with arguments and whatnot. One of the biggest reasons 90% of the people fail in life is they never really learn how to communicate successfully with other people. You can see this at works and jobs and whatnot. Even in relationships, people just don't have that kind of communication, and their marriage fails or their work relations fail as well with their manager and whatnot. You cannot know what to do, but you have to know also why you're doing it. So just because you know you have to do something, you also need to know why you're going to do it and what it's going to actually give you when you're done completing that activity. The one successful way to get everything you want in life is to acquire the skills on helping other people get what they want in life. I think that's similar to what Zig Ziglar said as well. Chapter 2, Understanding the Human Ego. In the United States, the Declaration of Independence is really a document that declares the independence of all individuals. So really, that is giving everybody the freedom to go out and do the things that they need to do to make the life that they really want for themselves. Learn to practice good human relationships. It is important to remember that if you keep that in mind, that every individual in the world wants to feel just as important as you want to feel. So if you take those knowledge and you take that knowledge and you put that into understanding how you would like to feel and know that other people want to feel just as important, you will go out and say the right things and do the right things. So here are 4 simple facts about the human ego. We are all egotistical at one point in our life or at some point during the day. Most of the time we are more important in ourselves and more interested in ourselves than finding what other people are saying as being interesting compared to what we feel is interesting. And that's your ego, because your ego feels that other people don't necessarily know everything you know, and your ego wants to go out there and just tell people how it really is. Every person you meet wants to have you make them feel important. That's also your ego wanting, something. There's a deep craving deep inside you that each person has for the approval of other people. Again, that's also going to be your ego, wanting the approval, because, if we feel that we don't have the approval of certain people, like for example, our parents, our friends, our co-workers, wives or spouses or husbands, whatever, we feel that we have to then work harder to get that approval from these people, and that's all ego. It's not understanding that you don't need the approval of other people all the time. When your self-esteem gets too low, almost anything can become a threat to somebody's self-esteem. So, that's why you see people be taken advantage of when they have low self-esteem, because, they don't know how to get out of it, so other people will take advantage of it. So, but if that person does feel threatened, they will come after you. So just kind of watch out there. To build good relationships, we must help others to like themselves a lot better than they like themselves right now. A lot of people don't necessarily have the love for them and themselves in their own heart. They just kind of go day to day just through the day, just trying to just get by realistically. What we need to do is help them satisfy their hunger for a higher self-esteem. So that's just using good, positive words and uplifting people instead of bringing people down. Chapter 3, making people feel important. All of us have a desire to feel important. That's pretty standard. We want to know that other people recognize our importance and our knowledge that we have. And that's why we will say stuff to people, we'll tell people stuff and apply and tell them everything we know that we are very knowledgeable about, because we want people to say, hey, you know what, this person's pretty smart, and maybe I'll kind of hang out with this person as well. So it's a great way that we also want and desire to build friendships. No one can maintain their dignity and self-worth if everyone he or she meets treats him or her as if he or she is worthless. Why employees are dissatisfied. Okay, so a couple of different reasons. So one is failure to get credit for a job well done, failure to correct grievances that happen at work that are against them, that they really had nothing to do with. No encouragement from the management team. They are criticized as if they were children. We're adults here, all over 18, working jobs, most of the time, sometimes even 16. If you have a job at 16, you're not a child anymore. You're out there, you're looking to take the responsibilities, but our management team feels that they can talk to us like little children. And again, no one really likes that, right? The boss does not ask our opinions. As employees, we have a lot of great ideas. We want the boss to really listen to what we have to say. They don't have to apply what we say, but at least to have our voice heard is something we all crave for. They don't know how they are doing at work and have no clue, because there's no proper feedback or timely feedback on how employees are doing. Bosses show employee favoritism. Now this you can see happening all over the place. There are bosses who favor other people. They'll spend time talking to other people a little bit more than certain other people at work. If you just kind of look around, you'll see this always happening, and employees really don't like that, right? We don't want to know that one employee has more favoritism. Unfortunately, terms like brown nosing come into play when that kind of starts happening, and we all just want to know that we're all equal at work and working equally. But I know that it's very hard to change that mindset. But if you're the boss or the leader or the mentor of your team, then you need to ensure that there is no favoritism happening at your work. Remember, even if we have our eyes open and all our senses are working, we can still only see a fraction of everything, right? As you can see, you can kind of see that chair in that corner right there, but you can't see the whole chair, right? Even if applied all your senses, you can't see that there's a door over there, even through your peripheral. When dealing with a group of people, try to acknowledge everyone in the group. So this goes at parties, this goes in meetings and whatnot. Allow everybody to have a voice. Consciously and unconsciously, we all want to make a good impression on everybody we meet, and that includes people we have never met on social media. We're always trying to post our best pictures, make smart, knowledgeable type comments. We're trying to, show people that we know something, so we're always out there trying to put our best foot forward. There's nothing wrong with that, but, kind of understand why you're doing that and what it's going to actually get you, especially with people you've never met on social media, unless there's a driven strategy that you have. Maybe you're running a business and you're thinking, if we just put up these awesome quotes every single day, it'll attract positive to you. Maybe that's your strategy. Don't try to increase your feelings of importance, but at the expense of other people. You'll see this all the time, where people will make a joke about somebody else, and people will laugh at this other person, only just to try to get themselves to feel important, to make get people to think that these people are funny and whatnot. You should never do that at the expense of other people. Most people don't understand that their ego or their subconscious mind cannot take a joke. So what happens is, when you are making a joke, and even if they know it's a joke, to that person it's a completely real situation, or to their subconscious mind it's a real situation, and it can definitely psychologically hurt them over a long period of time. Chapter 4. Controlling the actions and attitudes of other people. Each one of us is consistently influencing and controlling the actions and attitudes of those who we come in contact with. Our attitudes towards them can dictate their attitudes for the rest of the day. So that means, our positive attitude can create a positive attitude for other people, or if we have a negative attitude, that can rub off on them and cut them to have a negative attitude as well. When you find yourself in an explosive situation and everything seems like it's about to get out of control, remember one simple thing: lower your voice. When you lower your voice and keep it soft, people tend to lower their voice and keep it soft as well. This is a technique called mirroring. If you believe in yourself, and as a matter of fact, you should believe in yourself, others will also begin to believe in you and your abilities. The voice is a highly developed means of communication. Learn how to use your voice and your body language when you're talking to people, in business meetings, with your spouse, with your kids, with your friends, in any situation, even at restaurants. If something goes wrong at the restaurants, with the right voice and body language, not only can you get the problem rectified, you can also, sometimes they'll flip the bill for you because of their mistake. If you go in angry and mad and, yelling at somebody, how often does that really help you out in any situation, right? It really doesn't. So, when you lower your voice and say, I know that this wasn't your fault or something, and they'll really, the person that's helping you is more than happy to fix the situation. When you're mad at them, and it's really not their fault sometimes, it can put them in a negative mood. Just like we said earlier, you have the ability to control how others feel by your words and your voice and your tone. You can never sell anything to anyone until you have sold the product or service or idea to yourself first. So, if you look at anything that's being developed, a product, service, or an idea that's in development, most of the times you have to sell yourself that this idea is going to work before you even develop that product or service. So, you typically will not do any of that if you don't even believe within yourself that what you are thinking is even possible. Chapter 5. Create a good impression. If you're discussing business, then use a business-like tone and mannerisms and lingo when you're speaking about business. Don't talk like you're talking to a 12-year-old or a 5-year-old. Talk to the person as if you were talking to the business person. Play the role that you are in, and then when you create that role, you actually have a stage to perform on. And so when you use that stage to perform on, people will also perform just as they're supposed to, because you're using the right words, and your body language will psychologically get them to perform the way they need to. The world forms its opinions largely on the opinions that we have about ourselves. So however you see yourself is how the world will typically see you. So the words you use about yourself is the same words people will feel about you, because those are the same things that you're telling them to feel about you. Cheerful and optimistic people buy products, services, and ideas. So people who are happy and really want to experience something will go ahead and buy. They are more generous and willing to expand their horizons and their purchasing and their knowledge, and take a chance, even if it's a new product. So if you're selling something online, if you're excited and optimistic, and those people that are, and you're creating optimistic and excitement in other people, they're going to be more excited to watch this video, buy a product, or even just take a chance and even ask you a question, because they might have some interest. You should always assume that others are willing to do what you want them to do, but do not be disappointed if they don't do what you want them to do. Chapter 6. Developing an attractive personality. Everybody wants to be accepted, approved of, appreciated for what they know, how they act, and what they say. So keep that in mind. Usually when people get a taste of approval, they'll do anything. They'll even change who they are as a person to continue to get approval in different areas. So, that's why it's a great idea to talk positive about people and show that you approve of what they're doing, obviously if they're doing the things that are right and that fit into your belief system as well. Only you can help raise the value others see in themselves. And again, this is done with using positive words about people. Many people are unhappy because they're unable to express themselves. and they carry their ideas bottled inside them and don't really have a way to express themselves. This is one of the first points in chapter 7, learning to communicate effectively. So if you have an idea inside you, let that idea out. Write it down, tell other people about it, work on it, expand on it. Even if you don't want to tell other people, at least maybe get yourself a piece of paper and a pen and then start writing things down. We'll find happiness when we're actually doing the things that we want to do. Again, chapter 7, we need to remember to stop trying to be perfect. So one of the things you'll see is I may say and and I might stumble over some of my words. I may not be looking at the camera every single time. I may have to read off my sheet of paper. But what I always do is I continue to go forward. I'm not trying to be perfect. It'll come as I continue to record more videos and I continue to get comfortable talking in front of the camera and knowing exactly where to look and how to go between the lens and my piece of paper here, right? So I'm not going to try to strive for perfection. All I know is if I continue to talk and continue to record, I'll just keep getting better at my craft. So will you. Small talk can start a conversation with anybody. This conversation can lead to great friendships, business partnerships, and even future opportunities with people that you don't even know because you meet somebody through somebody else. All because you put your hand out and said, "Hi, how are you? My name is." Something so simple. If you're not sure what you should talk to about other people with, so what topics I mean, then what you should do is talk to them about themselves. Ask people about them. Hey, where are you from? How are you? What do you do for work? Or what's your business or whatnot? People love talking about themselves, and just keep asking questions that expand on what they're saying. The more you do that, the more they'll just keep talking, and they'll think you're the most wonderful conversationalist because you allow yourself to keep asking good questions. And the more people, the more you listen to people, the better they think. And the more they think of you as well. So again, the same thing, the art of being a good conversationalist is asking good, open-ended questions and getting people to talk. All you need to do is listen, and like I said, when you listen, people think you're a wonderful conversationalist and a person to talk to. If you're human, we have to remember, it is our human nature to ask and get people to agree with us. If we get them to agree with us, we typically find a common ground. If we cannot get people to agree with us, so they disagree with us, typically you'll see that we don't find common ground, and that's where friendships maybe are lost as well. So you shouldn't put friendships and business partnerships just because you agree on things. Everything is not agreed upon. It should not be agreeable. Sometimes you have to find people who disagree with you. No one really wants yes men just kind of around them. We do want people who open up our thinking and force us to think outside of the box. Don't air your troubles out in public. This includes social media. This goes for managers as well who reprimand their employees in front of other people. These are other people's business, and it should not be in front of other people at all. Chapter 8 is on listening. Most of us want others to think that we are clever and intelligent, so we listen. But we're also quick to respond to what people are saying, because if we craft a very cool comeback or a comment, they'll think we're smart and you're pretty intelligent and oh my God, they hadn't thought of that. But in most times people just really are looking for someone to listen. If you're in sales, remember people will tell you pretty much anything and everything they want and can tell you. All you have to do is sit back and listen. People will literally tell you their life story, and even of when they were little kids and everything. And these are little triggers that they're giving you that can help you sell more if you can find a way to connect their story to whatever product, service, or idea that you were trying to sell them. Successful people understand the importance of encouraging others to talk more while listening to them, because they learn from people who talk. You never learn when you're talking. You learn when you're listening and asking good questions. One of the highest compliments anybody can pay you is to listen to you. I think that's probably one of the coolest things, because how often are we listening to people nowadays? Everybody has a very short attention span. I think I heard on a podcast a little while back that human attention span is about 8 seconds, and a goldfish was 9 seconds. So our attention span is even less than a simple goldfish. And again, I mean, it's not a simple animal. I mean, all animals are pretty complex, but you kind of get my idea, right? We're so big compared to a goldfish, and we can't even hold our attention that long. When people are talking to you, look at them when they talk to you and when you're talking to them. So just like I'm doing it right now, I'm looking in the camera and talking to you. Lean forward, okay, and ask them good open-ended questions. And generally, take an interest in people. The more genuine your interest in people, the more opportunities that you really open up for yourself. Chapter 9, getting people to agree. Keep in mind, when someone opposes your idea, our ego takes it as a threat. So, you can't get everybody to agree on everything, but definitely you should have that conversation and don't just say, oh, well, you don't agree with me, we're done talking, and move on to the next thing. No, that's not the way it should go. We tend to think the only way to win an argument is to get others to change their mind, but if people change their mind against their will, like the saying goes, they're of the same opinion still. Sometimes what we have to do is really just walk away from arguments and understand there can't be a winner, because who's the winner in an argument realistically? There's a powerful way to have your ideas accepted, and that's by the subconscious mind. So if you want other people to accept your ideas, you have to use the power of suggestion. Now, I'm not saying that to manipulate other people. What I'm saying is, if you really want people to start thinking about what you're saying as if it's their own thoughts, you can say something like, hey, remember you said, or you explained, or you something, right? That you is saying, you're putting those words from your mouth into their mouths, yet you're programming their subconscious mind to believe that it thought that thought first. Even if it's like an award-winning thought at work, it can get the job done. You put that idea into somebody else's mind as if it was there. They'll be happy to take the credit for it, and you still get the job completed. Again, we're not trying to manipulate people, just trying to understand the psychology of how people work. If you want others to hear and listen to your ideas, we should also be willing to listen to their ideas. Sometimes we got to listen to them first. If you believe you have won the argument, but the other person has not accepted your viewpoint, then the other person will not act on what the conversation was about, or even on any of the words you had said, and sometimes they even tune out. Chapter 10, give praise. Giving praise to people can give them new energy and new life. People all over the world are hungry for praise and acceptance. We all know we are doing a good job, but we all want to know that we're doing a good job. Every day, look for ways you can thank people and praise people for doing a great job during the day. Whenever possible, thank people by their name, because who doesn't love the sound of their name? Maveen. I love the sound of my name. It makes me smile, right? So when I hear my own name, when someone says it, especially when someone who I respect says my name, it makes me feel even better. Praise people for what they do rather than who they are. People are usually in the midst of changing who they are, small changes, so praise them for what they're doing, not who they are, because who they are may be very different from who they're going to be maybe tomorrow, 6 months from now, or even 2 years from now. You never know. Chapter 11, the final chapter, is about criticizing without offending people. If you catch yourself saying, I'm telling you for your own good, remember subconsciously this is your ego wanting to go on a power trip. So, husbands and wives typically end up doing this. Well, I'm telling you this, or I told you so. This is just your ego and trying to make itself feel good and feel powerful, saying, you should have listened to me. I know better than you. But really, if it had gone the other way, how would you feel if your spouse had said it to you, or your manager says it to you, or if another employee says it to you? No one really likes that. If you need criticizing, let me start again. If you need to criticize anybody, and I don't think anybody needs criticizing, but if you need to criticize anybody, this should be done always in private. If you're going to praise people, this should be done in public. You should make people feel good in public, and if you're going to talk to people and try to course correct what they're doing wrong, definitely do it in private. No one wants to get their laundry aired out in public. Do not make criticizations on people and their situations. This can be seen sometimes as a personal attack, and we're not trying to personally attack anybody. What we're trying to do is help people improve. Ask for your team's cooperation. Do not demand your team to cooperate with you. If you tell people, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that, again, they're doing it against their will. And how long are you going to continue to do something against your will when you aren't really feeling it? So this was the 11 chapters in the book, The Art of Dealing with People by Les Giblin. Again, this idea here is for us to take these concepts and really find ways to empower our relationships, build relationships, and find new ways to connect to new people, or even the people that we're currently working with. I know at work you have people that you don't get along with. Try some of these things to find ways to cooperate with people that you work with. Sure, we can't be friends with everybody we work with, but we can definitely find ways to work with them and continue to grow with these people as well, and help them grow, because again, there's something that they may need to do as well. So again, my name is Maveen Kaura. Thank you for joining the Discover Your Life Today YouTube channel. You can definitely check out other videos on my channel. My channel is continually growing, so please remember to subscribe, like, and comment, and I'll be excited to share another video with you. Thank you, and have yourself a wonderful day.